I'd like to welcome you officially to the Women Political Platform. This is the 25th edition of this program, which comes to you weekly on this platform. And the reason why we bring to you Women Political Platform is for us to facilitate conversation around women and their political participation ahead of the 2019 elections. Of course, we know that is closer than we can ever imagine. Now, today's episode will focus on issues-based campaign. What should be the priority for women in 2019 elections? And it is reaching you live, of course, from the staples of 95.1 Nigeria Info Abuja, and it is aired every Tuesday from 9:30 to 10, so you can make it a point of duty, or you can always mark that so that you can join us. Now, the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Ford Foundation, initiated the Women Political Platform as a platform to engage Nigeria on national discourse, topical issues, and serve as advocacy mechanism for inclusion of women in politics and implementation of the 35 affirmative action. Now, as the discussion goes on, listeners can ask their questions and participate by calling on 08095974869. And also, if you want to join the discussion on Twitter, the Twitter handle is at CDD West Africa. The hashtag is Change Women Want. Okay, once again, the Change Women Want. Now, our guest today is Mrs. Charity Anaja. She is a leadership coach and a women and child's rights advocate. She's the program officer for Women in Politics Forum, WIPF, a multi-partisan organization that promotes and supports women running for appointive and political office in Nigeria. Now, we all know that there are about 7 countries that will be conducting elections in 2020 Nigeria, but Nigeria seems to stand out among them as we head to the Nigeria Decide 2019, which is 311 days from today. Now, it is important to begin to focus on issues and priority for women and the general populace. Many argue that when women form part of policy and law formulation, they're able to address issues that affect women and girls, and by extension, the general population. But what are some of these issues? That's what we'll be examining this morning alongside my guest. I'd like to welcome you, ma'am. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You support programs at the Women in Politics Forum. That's the WIPF. What is your organization's priority for women as we head up to the 2019 elections?
Good morning once again, and thanks for having me here this morning. Our priority for women as a support-based organization that promotes women running for appointive and elective positions is that we intend to do a lot of ambitious recruitment of more women into political parties. You'll agree with me that as for now in Nigeria, we don't have anything like independent candidacy. The political party remains the vehicle or platform through which women can contest. And we wouldn't be doing ourselves justice when we keep advocating for women's rights, women political empowerment, when there are no women in the parties. So what WIPF as a support organization and network intends to do, and is doing right now, is to mentor more women, encourage more women to join the political parties, to form decision-making networks within the parties, to strengthen women caucuses or women wings in the political parties, so that our numerical strength can work for us on a more rewarding note. Beyond that, we intend to have a catch them young kind of thing, where we have more women, young girls, coming into politics by way of joining political parties or getting their voters' cards, so that we can change their mindsets. A lot of young girls still think that politics is a thing for the men. But we want to come into secondary schools, tertiary institutions, rural areas to ensure that we can begin to work on their mindsets gradually, so that they can have interest and join political parties and engage. I am a product of mentorship.
Interesting.
Yes, I didn't come into WIPF on the grounds of professionalism. No, I came in as a volunteer, and I was trained. There was structural mentorship given to me personal mentorship given to me, and I have grown to become what I am today. And we are not letting it to end here. We intend to cascade these trainings just as I have benefited to the younger women and girls, so that we begin to come in and, infiltrate the political space and let it begin to speak. We are also doing something with the rural women. You will understand that rural women have the numerical strength, but then they are still the same problem we have by them, sacrificing their votes on the altar of very little things. So we are trying to work on their mindsets as well, so that they can begin to engage in politics in the right way. What are the issues? What are you ready to give us? Holding leaders or intending leaders accountable. These are our problems. And if we give you our votes, what are you willing to do for us so that our lives can be better? Not us eating the Maggi and wearing the slippers until it wears out. But in these 4 years of your leadership, what are we able to enjoy? What can we say will be benefiting from you? Those are among so many others. Then we are working with the political parties as well. What is the space you are giving to women? Are women just coming there to become merely women leaders? Or are you giving them a broader space to occupy decision-making roles within the political parties? Are you giving them 30% of your executives? Are you strengthening the women wings? Are you making them part of decision-making and, capacity and adding to the value chain of your political parties? So these and many more are what the things that Women in Politics has been doing and intends to even do more come 2019.
All right, interesting. That's to say you guys are doing a wonderful job. Now, do you agree to the statement that when women form part of policy and law formulation, they are able to address issues that affect women and girls and by extension the general population? If yes, what are some of these issues that women are faced with?
Yes, I agree that when women part of policy and decision-making issues, we begin to change the trend of things. Women are mothers, and we always bear the brunt of things that go wrong. So come 2019, the issues we intend to bring to bear for women are issues of unemployment, of health, maternal and infant mortality rates has to be reduced. We are looking at power. We are looking at food security. We are looking at trade. How accessible is trade from rural to urban areas? What are the incentives to trade? Are there credit facilities to increase trade for the women? Because women are predominantly traders. No matter how career, you are into career, there must be some form of trade you are into as a woman. We always encourage multiple streams of income. But is the government encouraging that? Are they giving us incentives to make it easy? We are looking at violence against women and girls. You'll agree with me that it's on the increase. What are the laws put on ground to ensure that our women and girls are protected? And even when they are protected and these things happen, what are the punitive measures on ground to ensure that perpetrators of these crimes are brought to book? We look at literacy. A lot of women are not doing well. We have numerical strength, but we are still backward because the level of literacy is low, especially in the rural areas. We look at girl-child education, trafficking in persons. This year has recorded a high rate of trafficking in and out. We are looking at security and insurgency issues. We're looking at health. The list is endless. Everything affects the woman as a mother, as a sister, and, as a woman. So we are looking at these issues, and we want to state it categorically clear here that anybody with a well-written manifesto, well-edited manifesto that is not able to defend this will not get our votes as women.
All right.
We are serious this time.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so but you talked about recruiting right from the catch them young level and all of that. But despite that, like you rightly noted, there's low participation of women in politics at every level. But what are you and your organization, doing, the WIPF, to address the issue of low participation of women in politics?
Low participation of women in politics has always been an issue in Nigeria. Especially now we have 6% of women in the parliament. It's going lower and lower. But what women in politics intends to do, like the mentoring, is that we have already started going to secondary schools. We're already going to tertiary institutions. We are coming up with leadership courses for them. We're coming up with civic education transformation comes with the renewal of the mind. We're trying to renew the minds of our women and girls, not to see themselves as wanting to be first ladies. A success story for me is when I come into a classroom and I say, whoever wants to be a governor should raise the hand, and I find more women raising their hands than them telling me that they want to become first ladies. Women should see themselves as game changers. Beyond that, we are also advocating in political parties. The main bottleneck is with the parties. There is no enough room for women at the top. So when we begin to open that gap at the decision-making level of the political parties, more women can be accommodated as leaders, as excos, as National Working Committee of political parties. More women can be accommodated as delegates. When there is internal party democracy and inclusion of women, of youth and persons with disabilities, we'll see that more women will be participating. The number is not low. It's just that these challenges deter them and they get discouraged. Before they get to the point of being candidates, they are already pushed out of the game. So we have more women. It's just that we need to have the environment accommodating them. In that way, you find out that a lot of women with capacity will be running and winning elections.
Okay. You agree that as of today in Nigeria, political parties, like you rightly mentioned earlier on, is the vehicle for increasing women's political participation. How can we incentivize political parties to play this role and increase women's participation in politics?
Much of it is by our advocacy visits. We advocate to them. We sit with them and talk. What are the gains they stand to get from involving more women? When a political party intends to, or is willing to accommodate more women, we throw our weight of support behind them. You will agree with me that we are advantaged in the area of numerical strength. And when women are encouraged to do something, they get very passionate. So any political party that we see as accommodating more women, supporting more women, we give them our support. Women are now going beyond party lines. We are beginning to break those things that factionalize us. We are no longer doing things as one party or the other. We are forming networks that cut across party lines, cut across faiths, cut across regions, cut across even age and generations. So we want to come up with a formidable force to ensure that our women, in spite of party, in spite of social standing, in spite of class, in spite of religion, we have more women representing us, because it is only then that we can have our issues brought to the fore and solved. Yes.
You also agree with me that we have cultural barriers, much as we're advocating at different levels, doing a whole lot. The cultural barriers there, the religious barriers are there.
Yes.
A whole lot that just works against women. So how do we address all of this and other barriers that women face on a day-to-day basis?
Culture are values we have inherited over time. And the only way we can work on this culture is by sensitizing those that hold this culture. So one way in which we can minimize or bring down the cultural barriers is to begin to involve traditional structure. What are we doing with the traditional heads of communities? What are we doing in faith-based organizations? When we begin to work with clergy, the imams, the churches, the mosques and religious bodies, to tell them that, look, women are not competing with the men. Women being in politics is not a way of saying that they are better than the men or they are not submissive to their husbands. But we want to show them that we can complement their efforts. We want to do what the men cannot do. We want to add value. Women are loaded with potentials. Women are loaded with things that can turn society around. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And so when you bring women in, they come with their mother touch. They come to nurture. They come to grow. They come to repair. You find out that things will change. But this can only happen when they understand that we're not coming to compete. We're coming to complement. Faith-based organizations, traditional structure, families, and so forth, the custodians of culture should be told that there is no fight here. We are just coming to play our own role and to add value and to improve our image in the global world. Yeah,
I'm sure you must have a thing or two to say based on your works and the response so far. What do you see? What can you say of women towards 2019? How do you see women participating? Do you think there's going to be a change or shift in terms of participation? More women being elected into positions come 2019. Are we optimistic about that?
I am optimistic. Reasons being that women, there has been a slight change, which I really must commend. Women are beginning to form networks, strong networks. It's no longer business as usual. Before, women would be called to sing and clap, and we have been given an identity for that. But women now, we will still sing because we are singers. We will still dance because we are naturally dancers. And we will take all the maggies and the sleepers, but we will vote. My voter's card is here, and my party membership card is here. We are going to vote. We are going to ensure that our votes count, and we are going to hold leaders accountable. Whoever is not ready to deal with the issues or to provide a solution to the issues I have earlier mentioned will not get our votes. Women are forming networks all over the place. We have a common umbrella that cuts across party, cuts across age, cuts across social standing, cuts across even rural and urban, generational, so that women can come under one umbrella and speak the same language. Women's issues are common to women. A woman with maternal issues in China has the same maternal issues in Nigeria. So we begin to use those issues now to look for things that will address those issues on a rewarding note for Nigeria come 2019.
When we look at other strides, the strides that other African countries are making in giving women a chance or allowing the women to actually get a free space to come on board and also serve, then I think we should also be encouraged, looking at the fact that we have a very pivotal role in the continent of Africa, Nigeria. When you look at Rwanda, what is happening, it's quite encouraging to see. I mean, in Liberia, we've already had a woman president and stuff like that. So you'd wonder how come we seem to be lagging behind, but we're quite optimistic, like you said, right?
We're optimistic, and to buttress your point, Rwanda has 61.3 women representation in the parliament. South Africa has 42.3. Uganda has 34.3% of women. And Nigeria, that is termed the giant of Africa, has less than 10%. That is very discouraging, but we wouldn't stop at that. We are putting more efforts in place. It's a holistic approach, if you ask me. Sensitization, everything must work in parallel. Our advocacies, our mentorship, CDD is doing a lot, and other developmental organizations in building capacity of women. And just as I said, I am a product of such built capacity and mentorship. So if we begin to do that, cutting across all sectors, doing everything we know to do, there will be increase. And women are more willing, because of what they are saying now that people are doing, they are more willing to take the challenge and to run. So I am optimistic, and I know that come 2019, we'll be singing a new song.
Interesting. Wonderful, wonderful conversation I'm having here with Mrs. Charity Anaja, who is a leadership coach and a woman and child rights advocate. She is the Programs Officer for Women in Politics Forum, WIPF, a multi-partisan organization that promotes and supports women running for appointive and political office in Nigeria. And today, we're looking at issue-based campaign. What should be the priority for women in 2019 elections? And of course, like you've heard, we have touched on a whole lot of issues and ways forward. It's 8 minutes to 10, and I would love to hear from you, as we always want to rub minds, to hear your thoughts, and to see ways in which women can encourage women, men can encourage women to participate come 2019. Like we've already announced to you, it's just 311 days. It's closer than you ever can think. So let me hear your thoughts. Let's have your contributions. Call on 0946000951, 08095974869, and also 08031230293. We love women to call in. Let's hear your own thoughts on politics, women participation, and also the he for she's who are supportive of this. Would love to hear your thoughts too on this discussion. Hello?
Hello?
morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome. Please, can you speak up so we can hear you?
Good morning to Lisa.
All right. What's your name?
Concerned citizen.
Okay, concerned citizen. Please go on.
Yes. They have spoken very well. My advice and my contribution is just cooperate with each other. Focus on God and get love. Everything can be performed amicably to please God and favor the country. Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you very much. Saying we need to trust God. Yeah, we're trusting God. And we're also playing our own part, right?
Yes.
As much as we trust God, we also have to play our own role. So, more of the contributions this morning. We would always love to hear from the women. We would always want to also hear from the men who support what women are doing and also giving women a chance. And while at the discussion, sometimes it just beats me how we have this stereotype as to what women should be doing. Because you're a woman, you should be in a certain place.
Gender-based.
Gender-based. We get to have that almost
Yes.
every day.
Yeah.
If any issue of women striving to get leadership position or trying to live out their best potentials, you keep on hearing that word. You're a woman this, you're a woman that, and all of that.
Gender-based
and I think
roles.
it's something. It's one major challenge that we're still grappling with. But we have someone here. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
It's Stella from Lockdown.
Welcome, Stella.
Thank you. I want to thank your guest. And then they have to keep up the good work. I encourage other women to come out. I want to also join because the woman is the building block. When the family is okay, our society will be okay, and our world will be okay. So I would like to join too. To stand for what is right. What is right, so that our nation will be like other good nations that are thriving. We cannot continue to be in the dark. We have to move on. We have to come out and be the best we can. Because people are really suffering in our country. So we all have to come together to make.
Hello. Okay. Sorry, Stella. Hello. Okay, we lost the call, but I guess she was making a point there. I'm sure you're going to let women know how they can join.
Yes.
Yeah, before the end of the show. But what would be your response though to Stella and maybe the other caller too?
The first caller, who is the concerned citizen, he has spoken well. Even for women, there's this form of evolving patriarchal language that says women are their own problems. And that makes women not to cooperate. So the first caller mentioned cooperation. And I'm calling on all women using this platform. We need to cooperate. Our problems are our problems. When one woman is crying, all other women are crying. Trafficking in persons, infant mortality, maternal mortality. These are issues that relate to all of us as women. So we need to cooperate. We need to break down those bridges and we need to break down the walls and begin to build bridges to connect with all women. As we press for progress, as we leave no one behind, let us ensure that we move away from the conversation to actions that are meaningful and that are result-oriented. Then secondly, for Stella, who says that she's willing to join the groups, I'll leave our contacts here. Women in Politics Forum and even CDD, we can always mentor. There's structural mentorship, there's personal mentorship, can volunteer, just as I said, and I will keep maintaining. I am a product of what this organization and other organizations have built in me, and we are able and willing to cascade this to other women, so that all of us, we must not all run for elective or appointive positions, but we can act on advisory level. We can act as citizens, good citizens, ensuring that laws are abided to and things like that. And we need our men. This conversation cannot be complete without the men.
True.
We are partners in this. So we need our men, our fathers, our husbands, our brothers, and the society at large to help us to cooperate and to ensure that women are brought to the fore. We are your partners, and we are sure that it will be better when we are involved.
Okay.
Thank
Well, it's been a wonderful discussion, and I'm sure you can attest to that because we've had a great time listening to Mrs. Charity this morning, espousing very wonderfully well on the issue-based campaign and what should be the priority for women in 2019. Thank you so much, Miss Charity, for coming over. We enjoyed talking with you and wish you all the best in all you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's how it's been on the Women Political Platform. Join us again next week, Tuesday, for another wonderful time where we get to dissect more issues.